I've had this Famicom for almost a year and it works pretty well. However, it's sort of dirty and very yellowed. So in this video, I'll be cleaning and whitening this Famicom and showing you how to do it yourself.
And we're going to start by removing these 6 screws on the back side here. We just take this back panel off. Oh. Should not have done that, but it's alright. And disconnect these 2 little cables here. And take off. Alright, and then we've got a few more screws, what looks like 6 more screws on the motherboard. Try to change the screwdriver. This one works a lot better. Alright, and now we're just going to carefully lift up the motherboard here. And it's still soldered. The switch is really dusty. I mean, like 34 years worth of dust and everything in it, but. And then, I guess now we're just going to take out this switch. Oops. If we go any further, power switch. And here's the actual power switch. And I already took out the reset button. And also, in case you didn't already notice, the power switch is soldered onto the board by 2 little wires. $1988 Nintendo. Even though the Famicom came out in '83, this one must have been one of the later models. I think the original had like those square buttons that didn't work quite right, if I remember correctly. But take off these pieces. These are the controllers. Oh. So in mine, player 1 is the white little tape around it, and player 2 is the orange tape. We don't really need those. I'll get to opening up the controllers for cleaning later, but right now we're focusing on this. Trying to think of a way to get this detached. There we go. Just pull it off of there like this, just towards you. Alright. There's the eject. So that's pretty dirty in there. That'll clean up though. Now just to figure out how to get this piece off. There's 2 little tabs in here. This might go on. I'm just wondering if it just pulls apart. Okay, so it just does just pull apart. Alright, that's easy. Alright. So that's everything. So I don't need a board or anything. This is going to be, have this put on it and wrapped in like cellophane, put out in the sun for a few hours. That should make it really white. And yeah, these stickers are like laminated, so I think they'll do with water and everything just fine. So I'll just wash this off and have it drying so I can put it out in the sun tomorrow. And then this stuff that doesn't need to be whitened, I'll just clean just regularly, and I'll probably put these in a jar of soapy water or something to soak, get all the dirt off of them, and then rinse them off. And when everything's all ready to be put back together again, I'll just reassemble it.
So you may be wondering what actually turns these old consoles yellow. Well, the answer is bromine. See, it was used as a fire retardant in the ABS plastic of these consoles. And so that's why you'll see like Famicom, Super Famicoms, Super Nintendos especially, and even some NESs that turn really yellow. And the bromine didn't react very well with oxidation and UV light, so like sunlight. And so the only way really to reverse that, or maybe not the only way, but the best way that I found is hydrogen peroxide. And this is just basically hydrogen peroxide cream. You know, it's got some other ingredients in it, but hydrogen peroxide is the second ingredient behind only water. So we're going to put this on, and hydrogen peroxide exposed to UV light actually reverses the yellowing, which is kind of strange considering UV actually helps cause it in the first place, but that's just the way it is. So just take this out, take out an old yellow console, the shell of one at least, put some of this on it, and then take it out, set it out in the sunlight for a few hours, and that's what's going to reverse the yellowing.
So I put a bunch of that Salon Care Volume 40 cream on this Famicom, and I wrapped it in a cellophane wrap like I've seen other people do. And I have a couple dogs, and I don't really want, the one's really bad about stuff like this. I don't really want her to tear it up or lose it or something. So I decided to put it on the roof where it's going to get pretty good sunlight anyway. So now we just wait, and I'll come out every so often and rotate it to make sure they all get whitened evenly, all the sides.
So I had to go somewhere, and now it is 4 hours and 40 minutes in, and boy, it's like night and day from when I first put it out here.
So I wasn't really happy with the way that kind of turned out after the first treatment for the yellowing. This part, I don't know if you can see, it just seems like it's a bit yellower than the rest of it, so I put more of it on there this time, and I'm gonna see if maybe that'll fix everything.
Put it up on the roof just like before. And next I'll turn my attention to these controllers. So I'll start with player 1. It's 6 Phillips head screws. It's pretty standard, just like on the NES controller, just on the back there. So I'll just remove those. Alright, and with the 6 screws removed, now we can separate 2 plastic pieces. Clean this one off. Just to deroute that cable there. And we're left very similar to an NES controller. Should make sense, seeing as it's basically where we get the NES from. Alright, and so I'll just, yikes, I'll just soak these in that jar of soapy water. And I'll wash these off later. And now we do the same one with the second controller. Maybe I can, the volume switch will move smoother when I'm done cleaning it. So yeah, same thing, 6 screws. And it's the same thing with the player 2 controller, just take off that little back piece there. Deroute the little cable there, and you can see this one has a microphone and an extra little capacitor there for, not really sure exactly, because player 1's controller doesn't have that
doesn't have that capacitor. So it has obviously has something to do with either the microphone or the volume switch. And then same thing, we just take everything out. Player 2 looks like it's gotten a lot less use than player 1 as far as these buttons go. There's a small piece of plastic here. Put all these in the jar. My biggest issue though with these is how scratched up this metal gets. And these aren't, I mean, they're pretty bad, but as far as Famicom controllers go, I guess I could do worse. But I don't really know of any way to go about actually replacing these, like the actual little metal little inserts. I guess you could take it out with a screwdriver, but and even then, I don't know if that's something you want to do because these are still original, but they're not too bad. There's nothing I can really do to replace them, so I'm just gonna clean these up and then put them back on the new whiter console. Alright, so now I'm gonna just focus on the board real quick, just give it some compressed air is all. Got lots of dust in here. That should probably be pretty good. Alright, now I just gotta reassemble it. So here's the Famicom after the whitening and being all reassembled and cleaned, and looks pretty nice. It's not, you know, perfect. It's a lot whiter than it was. I feel like this part here didn't quite get as white as the whole rest of it. And the reason I put it outside is because it kind of shows how white it really is. It was too dark inside. So this is probably makes it look the most accurate. But yeah, just looks a lot better. But there is still just one more thing we have to do to it before it's complete. So we're just gonna clean contacts. These gotten pretty dirty over 30 or so years of use. So just take like a rag. This one's pretty dirty, but and isopropyl alcohol. The highest the better. So the higher the better. So this is 91%. This will work. Just put some on the rag. And then get any card, debit card, credit card, gift card. You can see this is a Chick-fil-A gift card here. And then just kind of wrap it around the card. And then start using that to clean the pins. Just put it in. When I do this with other consoles, the pins aren't usually, they usually don't have this kind of grip. Maybe it's just because it's a Famicom or something, but usually they're a lot looser. Yeah, and then just clean them until you're happy with the results. So yeah, that's a lot better. And of course, don't try to use it right after you just clean the contact. Alcohol dries really quickly though, so it's not like you have to wait for very long. So that should make it a lot easier for the Famicom to read games now. And just to prove the Famicom still works after whitening it, you can see it looks a lot lighter there. I'm just gonna turn it on. It's running Door. That's my so far favorite Famicom game. If you haven't seen my Let's Play of it, you should check that out. This is a great game that never got an American release, but anyways, you hear the audio sounds great, and the controls still work. But yep. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this very helpful if you're trying to also clean and whiten your own Famicom. And don't forget to check out the rest of my channel. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.